All right, welcome. Good evening, everyone. It's a privilege to welcome everyone to one of the most meaningful events that we put on at Minooka High School, the Minooka High School Athletic Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Tonight we come together to honor the individuals, the teams, the coaches who have left a lasting impact on our athletic program and have shaped our proud history. Before we begin, I want to recognize some people that made tonight possible. Our School Board of Education, Dr. Schiffbauer and our administration, our staff, Aces Bar and Grill. Thank you for your unwavering support of our student athletes and our athletic programs. To the Hall of Fame committee, I can't express enough on how much work goes into this event and recognizing these well-deserved people. Their dedication is preserving and celebrating our history and ensures that the stories of these incredible people live on. To the coaches, mentors, families, friends that are here tonight, your guidance, encouragement, and countless sacrifices have helped shape the individuals who we get to honor tonight. Tonight's personal for me. Everybody that's pretty much being inducted tonight, I've got to witness a lot. As a kid growing up in Minooka, some of my favorite memories were coming to the football games and the basketball games. I can still picture myself sitting in the bleachers, looking out in the court, the field, dreaming that one day that I could be just like Tim Stevens, who's one of our inductees tonight. Those nights sparked a love for Minooka sports, for our community that's never left me. Like I said, it's meaningful to me. I've had the privilege to see a lot of the inductees tonight make their mark, not just as athletes, but as people. My older brother's being inducted tonight for his accomplishments through the football program. Sharing this moment with him is something that I'll never forget. My sister and myself were both coached by Coach Ray Libatori. Our former athletic director, Bob Terrell, was a dean and a coach when I was a student. I went to school with Ashley Jones. I got to celebrate her state championships. I had a front row seat to watch Nina Simotis do incredible things on the basketball court. And to be standing here to recognize our second state title in Minooka history, our 2013 softball team, is such an honor. Their championship run was one that's unforgettable and that I think really united our school community. This evening's more than just an induction ceremony. It's a celebration of all of your accomplishments, your perseverance, your passion, your pride for Minooka High School. Our inductees have excelled not only in competition, but also how they represented themselves with integrity and heart on the court, on the field. Your accomplishments remind us that true athletic success is not always measured in wins and losses or records. It's the challenges that you overcome and the lives that you influence along the way. Each of you, which we're going to get to hear tonight, has a unique story. One of dedication, a lot of early mornings, a lot of late nights, a lot of sacrifice that went into sitting in this room being inducted. For some it was, your performance on the football field or performance in the basketball or in the pool. For others, it was your leadership that kind of laid the foundation for future kids that come through here for their success. Together, all of your stories make up the big story of Minooka High School. To me, it's built on excellence, teamwork, and character. As we celebrate your achievements tonight, I can't help but think back again to that kid sitting in the bleachers, dreaming about someday being a part of Minooka athletics. If you had told me I'm standing up here that we're gonna induct the second state title, the 2013 softball team, I would tell you no way that I would be standing here. But that's what our tonight's the nights are like, or I should say, nights like this are for, and they're powerful. They remind us that the legacy we celebrate isn't just about the past. It's about inspiring the next generation of kids that are sitting in the same bleachers that I was, dreaming about their dreams and their path to success. On the behalf of the entire Minooka High School Athletic Department, congratulations on your induction. Your names will live on the record books, but most importantly, your stories will continue to inspire future athletes to work harder, dream bigger, and represent Minooka with pride. Here's to honoring the past, celebrating the present, inspiring the future. Thank you. I hope everybody enjoys their evening tonight.
All right, Maddie, who wrote that for you?
My wife.
I was going to say. Doctor, you says you didn't want to speak because you don't want to follow me. Well, try and follow that, okay? Nice job, Matt. Thank you very much. Next up, we want to hear from our Hall of Fame administrator, Mr. John Ryan. John, you have 2 minutes. And the clock is running.
Coach Williams. Whoa,
Turn the switch on.
there we go. Coach Williams stole most of my speech of mine, so thanks, Mr. Williams. I'm John Ryan. I'm proud and honored to be president of the Minooka High School Athletic Hall of Fame. I'd like to thank our sponsors, our school administration, Superintendent Dr. Schepbauer, Mrs. Jamie Solomon, our principal, and our awesome athletic director, Matt Williams. I'd like to say thank you to WJOL 1340 AM for their support in broadcasting all of our Hall of Fame induction ceremony and the games. Our committee members, Tracy Kwasny, Laura Grozick, Carrie Prozick, Julie Wright, Matt Thomas, Kevin Gumerson, Mike Lukumuchi, Bert Coy, and Matt Williams and Kevin Kane. Their hard work and dedication have made this MCHS Hall of Fame the best in the state. Thank you to the family members, teammates, and friends of all of our inductees. If it wasn't for your love and support, we would not be here tonight. Finally, I want to congratulate each inductee for your hard work, dedication, perseverance while working at and attending Minooka Community High School. And I want you to realize that every junior high student, high school student, or community member that enters that building from tonight moving forward will recognize your plaques and realize that if you did all the hard work, they could do it too, and your achievements. Minooka Athletics will be forever on the map to success because of each of you. Congratulations on being added to the best and most successful Hall of Fames in the state. Thank you so much.
Okay, so we're going to get going with dinner about 7 o'clock, but just a couple of quick things. The Minooka Athletic Boosters made Hall of Fame t-shirts and hoodies that were on sale last night. And I think there's a couple of t-shirts left, but there's some hoodies. If you see my wife, Kathy, she's here somewhere. There you go. 3 people put their hands up. Wait a minute, I'm not more. If you see Kathy, what we're going to do is we have some left, but we're going to do one more run that you can pick up at next week's game. See, Maddie, I'm trying to help the game. You have to go to the game. You can pick them up. We'll do another run. So if anybody wants one, just get with Kathy. If we don't have it here, we'll get it ordered for you. You can pick it up next week, next Friday night's game. All right? We're going to get going with dinner about 7 o'clock. We'll give you a quick announcement, but stay tuned. It's going to be a great night. Once again, thank you everyone for coming out. This is one of the fun things that I get to do. You know, you get, hey Goose, will you come and MC this, or would you MC that? And like, yeah, okay. I don't say no to a lot of them. This one's one of the best ones, and it's really cool for me. So thank you all for coming out tonight. We're gonna have a great night.
Did you say anything about the
one more thing that I do want to say. Mike Gugamucci and his wife, they do own Ken Woody's. They support the heck out of Minooka High School through our boosters program, the PE program. One thing that we did add addition to obviously handing out awards is, we're going to hand out Hall of Fame jackets to each one of our inductees, which is a great idea. Mike and his wife donated these, and their plan is
Kathy did.
Sorry.
Kathy did.
Kathy donated these. So we just want to thank Mike and his wife and Ken Woody's for all their support for our Athletic Hall of Fame. So thanks, Mike.
We've said all we need to say about how special this night is. Now it's time to hear from our inductees. And just, some of them are playing it off like, this is nice, but I'm not worthy of it. And I'm just calling, it's not true. This is very special to each and every one of them. And we might as well get started with the man of the hour last night going out and flipping the coin to get the football game started. What's everybody laughing about? Simmer down over there, Coach. Don't start with me. I got the microphone. Coach Ray Liberatore is going in. Will Kevin Kane and Kelly Thompson please come to the podium? And who else is coming, Ray? Just those two. Nobody else. Your wife's giving me some bum information there. Okay. Coach Kane.
Thank you. All right. Good evening. And as I get started, kind of have the same perspective that Coach Williams talked about at the very beginning of what it was like to grow up in Shannon and seeing a lot of the people that are sitting here. You got to witness some of their great accolades. I walked the same halls as Ashley Jones, like Coach Williams said, and I got to see her work ethic firsthand. So that was incredible to see. I'm good friends with Grant and Max Simotis, and we all know Nina's the most athletic of the Simotis family. It still probably is. And as a young Chinook Brave, I'm a coach for the football program, and we still have our Chinook Braves come out on the field and watch the football game, and I can remember it to this day, not as much seeing it, but just hearing Dustin Williams play the game of football is intimidating. It made you question if you want to continue to play football yourself. Coach Brown was my student teacher in high school. Now he's a colleague of mine, but I can remember sitting in his classrooms. Still remember the very few lessons that I can remember are probably from Coach Brown's classroom, just because his ability to connect and kind of instill things in you as just a student. So seeing his teams, and it's not surprising to see their success. Coach Tyrell, I was 26 years old. He gave me my first head coaching opportunity here back at Minooka. Got me back from Yorkville to come into Minooka as a 26-year-old head coach for the boys basketball program, which I'm very thankful to be back home, and I don't plan to leave from there. So thank you, Coach, and congratulations. As I was the head coach, I started to put record boards together of our basketball program, and that's where I learned that Tim Stevens is a very bad man on basketball. He was, and really every court that he played on or field he played on, he was a really, really, really good athlete. So, it's nice to have a connection to all of you guys that are getting inducted, and congratulations to you guys all. It was also during my tenure as the head basketball coach, I got to establish a pretty sound relationship, one that I cherish really well with Coach Liberatore. The first day I came into Minooka, he walked in my classroom with a big box. And the box had everything from old notes that he had written. He had VHS tapes in there. I mean, he had things that from clinics that he had gone to, he had this tie in there, so I got a few basketball ties, so that's why this is the first time I wore this tie. And it just means a lot that he was willing to just step in and say, listen, I'm here to support you, you know, and he has been a mentor for me since that day, you know, moving forward. His accolades and his accomplishments as a head coach, you know, are proof enough as to why he deserves a seat in the Hall of Fame. You know, his legacy and impact on others in our school community, specifically the athletic program and myself, is really the evidence that I feel makes him worthwhile to be in that Hall of Fame and to establish himself as a pillar of our Hall of Fame. Regardless of his circumstances and his obstacles, he's continued to support me. Never wavers. I mean, he still texts me play calls that I should be making on Friday nights. I'm very blessed to have him as a mentor. I am. To have been influenced by him as a person, as a husband, as a father. You know, he means a lot to me. But I don't have the ability to talk a lot about his whole history and his whole path as a coach. I got the tail end of it, you know, and I'm thankful for it. But one of his assistant coaches, his longtime assistant coaches, Kelly Thompson, is going to give you guys a little bit better insight into what that path looked like. So please welcome Kelly Thompson.
Thank you, Kevin. It's good to be here tonight. I'm pleased to be able to talk about Libs, Coach Ray, Coach, never Ray Liberatore, right? He always went by one of those names. To my own kids, he's known as Coach Ray. Coach was a counselor at Minooka Community High School for 31 years, retiring in 2022. During that time, he spent 2 years coaching boys basketball, 25 years coaching boys football, and 25 years coaching girls basketball. Ray was the head basketball coach for the girls from 1994 to 2018. In those 24 seasons, as the head coach, he collected 363 career wins, the most by any coach in the history of the program, and at least 7 seasons of 20 wins or more. Along with those wins came 4 conference championships, 5 regional championships, and 2 Coach of the Year awards. And I had the privilege of coaching with him from 1998 to 2011. Sorry, my page didn't want to turn. During that time, I'm going to talk a little bit the same as Kevin just did. I watched and learned from Coach and saw many of the reasons why he is here tonight. When I started to put together what I wanted to say tonight, the first thing I wrote down was that he was a true student of the game and he loved coaching. But the fact of the matter is that's not past tense. He still is a student of a game and he still loves coaching. Just like what Kevin said when he calls him and tells him what he should be running. He thinks like a coach, watches games like a coach, analyzes like a coach, loves to talk to others about it whenever he can. When he was coaching, he read books, watched film, watched videos, went to clinics, talked to other people, coaches, all in an effort to get better. He wanted to be the best that he could be for his program. Every off season, he examined what worked, what didn't work, what to keep, what to change for the next team. He wasn't afraid to change. He wasn't afraid to say we needed to do something different. He just wanted to be the best that he could be. As a member of his staff, he challenged me to do those things. He gave me books to read, tapes and videos to watch, took me to clinics, and we talked about our games, teams, strategies before games, after games, in season, out of season, whenever we had a chance. Because of him, I was a better coach, and I know that I'm not alone in that. I know there are people sitting here that would say the same thing. And as a good coach should be, he wasn't just a football and a basketball coach, he was a life coach. He wanted what was best for his players, not only on the court, but off the court. He talked to them about basketball, about life, about their futures. He planned activities, games, and camps so that they could experience and see different things. whether it was shootouts in Morris and Loyola or Marquette, team camps at U of I, Purdue, Indiana, Notre Dame, visits to DePaul basketball games, trips to feed my starving children, fundraising for the less fortunate, teaching disability awareness, or hosting and organizing season-long team dinners. Coach was constantly coaching and talking about life lessons. While I do have vivid memories of some particular games we played, what I remember more than anything were the experiences and the relationships that we created when we coached. And Coach continued to support his players after they graduated. He'd go to U of I to watch a softball game, go to Louisville to watch a basketball game. He checked in to see how his players were doing and what they were doing and if they needed anything. And he did the same for his coaches. Although my kids came along after my coaching career ended, they know and love Coach Ray like family. And when we talk, he always asks me about them. He asks me about my husband, Aaron. He asks how we're doing, what we need, if he can help with anything. So thank you, Coach, for being invested in my family and me as a coach, as a person, and as a friend. I hope you know how much it means. And I just have one other little story I wanted to tell. I'm not really sure it's a story, but just another reminder of why Coach is who he is. But during my time at Minooka, I taught in the REACH program, which is a program for students with special needs. And 2 of my students worked as managers for Coach's teams over the years. The experiences that he gave those individuals brought so much to their lives, and just as much to the lives of the players who got to know them and learn from them. Coach saw and understood the importance of that. And more than anything, Coach treated those 2 students as one of his team, just like anybody else, just like they should be. And I have always said that my students that I taught were the best judges of character. They see through people and they seek out good people. And 20 plus years later, those 2 former managers still talk to Ray, still love Ray, still want to be involved in his life. And they love him like family. And speaking of family, Coach's family is here tonight. Tammy, Ray Jr., Emily, Raymond Wallace, Theodora, Kristen, Sean, Nick, Katie, and William. I know his wife and his kids would have many stories to share with you about Ray, the coach, but more importantly would tell you the stories about his most important roles as a husband, a dad, and a grandpa. When we aren't talking sports, Coach is always talking about you. Now I want to give him a chance, so with that, class of 2025 MCHS Hall of Fame inductee, Ray Laboratory.
Okay, good. Thank you. Let me first start off by just give me I was going to say quick, but it's for Tannis, my wife Tammy. We've been married for 43 years. And certainly, this last year or so has been the most tumultuous time we've gone through. So about a year and a half ago, I was diagnosed with a rare blood cancer. And initially, all we were doing was every month or so going for blood work. And so I was like, well, okay, this isn't too bad. Well, then things started happening. And about a year ago, I started chemo. Well, once I started chemo, I became a frequent flyer at Edward Hospital. I was there, now Tammy says 10 times. I guess I kind of lost track, but it was a rough stretch. But through her help, through our family's help, I feel like I'm on the other side. When Kevin called me a couple months ago, I spent most of my days just in bed. I could get around in a wheelchair, but that was it. Now when I wake up in the morning, I can actually walk without any assistance. So, making good progress. I think getting this award definitely was a push at that time that I really needed. So, Cub fan JR and the committee, I can't tell you how much this honor means to me. And the timing of it was awesome. So, thank you. Thank you. Kevin Kane nominated me for this. One of my most enjoyable years coaching was my last year here at the high school. He let me help out on his staff, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And during that time, I realized how great a future he has. Whatever he wants to do in the coaching profession, he'll accomplish it because he's articulate, he cares about the kids, and it was just a really, I call it was coaching without the BS, and I really, he had to deal with the BS I did. So usually I was a head coach, and so I would have to, yeah. But it was good. It was good. Kelly, hopefully you got a glimpse in her talk tonight, not about me necessarily, but what type of person she is. You have to be special to work with the special students. And she would a lot of days come down to practice and tell stories about her day. And just awesome. As a head coach, you want and you hope you get coaches in your program who care about the program as much as you do. And certainly Kelly did, certainly Tracy Quasney, who's been with our program a long time as well, they did. And the successes that we had down the road were a lot to do with them. So I want to thank them. The other inductees, since I'm the first one up, congratulations. What a great honor. I was able to coach everybody individual, except for Ashley, besides Ashley. As a former Inwood lap swimmer, though, I can tell you that swimming is unbelievably hard. And they swim hours before school, they swim hours after school. So I know I coached Ashley's brother, but yeah, you gotta be remarkable to get to the level she got to. So again, congratulations to you. The softball team, Coach Rudiger deserves a lot of credit for the successes here at the high school in terms of state championship, because it was something that they accomplished, the wrestling team accomplished. Once they did it, then other teams and other coaches said, yeah, why not our program? So shout out to Bernie. Bob Tiro. They mentioned last night, so Tammy worked down the road at Plainfield South. And one time she was with a student and she told the student, my husband coaches at Manuka. And the student said to her, oh, Manuka, they're good in everything. And that had some truth to it. It really does. But when Bob T took over as the AD, that's when our athletics really flourished. That's when we were not only, winning regionals and we were competing for state and winning state championships. So how deserving, you know, and I've always liked to be behind the scenes, but like last night, they read how many accomplishments we've had with him at the helm, and truly amazing, Bob, truly amazing. Thank you. Our family, my sister Kathy's here tonight, and it's interesting, I'm sure those of you who are closer to my age, how your relationships with your siblings change as you get older. I have considered Kathy one of my best friends and somebody that always encouraged me, and I always felt comfortable calling her if ever I had a problem or anything. So, love you, Kathy. And then our family, our boys added 2 lovely wives to our family. The wives have added 3 grandchildren, which that's just awesome. And then our daughter's here from Washington, D.C. I had the privilege of coaching Kristen. Unfortunately, she took a lot like Dad, and she kept getting injured like I did when I was in high school. But you know, we have a bond together because of the coaching that I truly cherish. I got to coach Nick too. Ray was the smart one. He's a long distance runner. He knew darn well Dad wasn't going to get off school and run anywhere, so he just had to worry about being at home, but not afterwards. So, Tim Stevens, I don't know if you remember this, so I think I'm accurate. The first Manuka event I coached was freshman football. And the first game that we played that year was against Morris. And Tim was a quarterback. We just got slaughtered. I remember that. By the time Tim was a senior, and I remember this too, and Coach Harp was at the game last night. He was the head coach at that point. We beat Morris. And it was the most exciting game that I've ever been a part of, you know. So Tim was I can say, coached him in his first event. Between the two of us, I don't think we would have gotten any Hall of Fame nominations after that game. But really enjoyed that experience. Most of my years in football, I was a head sophomore coach. I did get to coach at the varsity level with Coach Coy. Really enjoyed that. One of the best persons I have the privilege of knowing, Coach Coy. Basketball-wise, first year I coached boys. Coach Greenback was the head girls coach, and he said, you know, I'm going to just coach one more year. You know, if things work out, you can come do the varsity. So the plan was, I come over, I had never coached girls before, come over, coach the sophomore girls, you know, while he was still doing the varsity for a year. I distinctly remember my first meeting at the end of the school year with the girls who were going to be on our team next year. And a girl raises her hand, and she goes, Coach, are you okay with us wearing sport bras? Now, I have 2 sisters, but I honestly didn't know what she meant by that. But I'm thinking, you know, any type of bra is probably better than none, right? So, yes, that's fine. So, that first group, I talked with Laura Gross, and she was Laura, I didn't realize, but Laura was the first girl that I actually coached for 4 years. And that first group they were a challenge. But I got through it, and, you know, 20-some years later, I finished up, and one of one of my most memorable wins was our regional win that year in 2018. We beat a Yorkville team that on paper, they had 2 girls going, to college on scholarships, and that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. So, did football, did basketball. My wife's saying to wrap it up.
Take all the time you want, Coach.
Thank you. Yeah, so I really had some memorable moments here as a coach. I truly enjoyed every one of them. The coaches I got to coach alongside, just awesome. I mean, some of you guys are, girls, ladies are here tonight, and athletes here at Minooka. I mean, you're not going to find better quality athletes than we have here at Minooka. So, keep me in your prayers with this young lady running the show. I'm not going anywhere for a long time. Thank you.
Our next inductee has been talked about in Coach Liv's speech here quite a bit, and I think he's a personal friend of everybody's and really did take this athletic program to the next level, and he's been a friend of mine, coached my son, who, by the way, said last night, he sent me a text and he says, best coach I ever had. Our next inductee, special merit, Coach Bob Terrell. Coach Petrovic. Jeff Petrovic will induct Bob into to the Hall of Fame tonight.
My first time being at this dinner. Wow, what a night. What a group of people. Congratulations to everybody. As I kind of scanned the room a little bit earlier, it's telling of your age a little bit. All my former students are getting inducted in. All of my fellow coaches and colleagues and people that I love to spend time with. It is really a remarkable night, and it's a really cool thing, and congratulations to all the inductees. Special merit. Special man. It would be really easy to sit here tonight and read the roles that Bob had here at the high school, all the awards that he won while he was athletic director, and it would be really easy to be impressed. But what I want to bestow upon everybody tonight is the extraordinary person that Bob Terrell is, and what he has meant to so many people during his career at Minooka High School. There is no doubt that Bob Terrell is a great leader, but he is a Hall of Fame human being. For decades, Bob's work ethic was unrivaled. No one ever unlocked the door in the morning and locked it more at night than Bob. He lived by the first guy in, last guy out mentality to make sure everything was done. Bob never chose what was easy. He did what was right. Everyone says that they want to be great at their job. Everybody wants to be successful. But so very few people in life do what's necessary to be great. Bob Terrell was great. In life, you hope to leave an impact. You strive to leave a lasting legacy. Bob has most certainly left an indelible mark on something that's been mentioned so many times tonight, family. His family at home and his family at Minooka High School. Behind every coach, there's a supportive spouse. But behind every athletic director, there's a saint. So thank you so much to Chris and the kids for everything that they sacrificed to allow Bob to be such a huge part of Minooka High School. There's no doubt that Bob's proudest achievement is his amazing family. Bob and Chris have raised an extraordinary group of kids. They are great kids. There's no greater legacy than your family. And that family would be impressive on its own right. But Bob was able to do all of that while still giving everything that he had to his MCHS family. He had to sacrifice so much with his own life to be able to give to our family. The greatest lesson I ever learned in life was from my dad. And I never met a person that was more selfless than him. And working with Bob Terrell for all these years, I realized that he was just a shining example of what my dad always taught me was to be selfless, not selfish. He's always been a great role model to me and every other coach that he crossed paths with. He is certainly someone that I looked up to in my whole time at Minooka High School and one of my greatest role models in life. But what always struck me about Bob in being around him was that in education and athletics today, so many people are getting out of coaching. And they get out of coaching and they say that I really have to spend all of this time with my family. I have to spend all this time with my kids. Bob Terrell gave to everybody's kids and everybody's family, selflessly. And Bob is so humble that he will most likely be embarrassed that this is on his behalf. But he's also incredibly grateful. In an era where people believe that they're entitled to reward, Bob did all of this for a lifetime, and he expected nothing in return. He did this for his family, for the Minooka High School family. He did it for our athletes and for our coaches. He's a true advocate for every athlete and an unwavering supporter and friend to every coach. His legacy at Minooka High School is undeniable. It's easy to see because everyone at Minooka High School is a better person because of Bob Tyrell. Bob, we didn't tell you nearly enough when you were around how proud we were of you. Not proud of you for then, not for now, but we're proud of you always. Minooka will be forever proud of you, Coacher. Congratulations into the MCHS Athletic Hall of Fame, Bob Tyrell.
Whoever put me on this program, first of all, after Coach Ray and Jeff Petrick, I'm going to be nowhere near as good as those guys are. So whoever put me on the program, that was probably you, John, right? After that. I do have a speech here written down a little bit, but a couple cool things here. And this is a night to enjoy for everybody, right? Families. And a cool thing about last night, I thought was neat. All the families that were out on the field last night, I mean, we're all represented and parts of our families, and Petro mentioned that a little bit, but I get my speech out of my pocket here. But it was neat to see. I mean, we all include our families and things, and all my goofball kids and a couple of my siblings are here tonight. And so we rolled my 98-year-old mom out to the turf. So I don't know if we've had an older person on the turf at Minooka High School. We have to check that out. But she's still kicking at 98, so that was great. New record on that one. So Minooka is a great place. So I'll go back to 1995 when I started, and to all the athletes that are getting recognized, all the individuals. It's great. We were talking, my wife and I were talking last night. It's nice. We all have a connection to them. So I saw all these kids play. I'm calling them kids. And I think the great thing, we see high school kids, right, between 14 and 18 years old. And is that a good time? I don't know if it is a good time for parents or anybody else. It's a tough time. But we see more growth when kids are freshmen in high school, the time that they are seniors in high school. All that growth that you see during that time is unbelievable, right? I mean, that's what I love about high school. So I walk in my office. I work with grade school kids now, so I walked into the office yesterday. There was like 100 signs up on the walls. Congratulations, I work at school in Joliet. I didn't get this when I was in the dean's office at all. I'm sure I didn't get any of the high school kids didn't write anything nice, I'm sure at that time. But, congratulations, Coach, on the Hall of Fame thing. So those little gestures are pretty cool here. That's why I stay in the business, and I enjoyed it all the way. So back in 1995, I think I was starting. I think Tim, you were graduating, right? You were finishing up that year. So I did see the Morris game that year. It was a great football game, and I wasn't quite there yet. So started in '95. So a couple things that happened during the year. So somewhere around in the mid-'90s, we had a student walkout. Does anybody remember that student walkout, the protest that we had? Does anybody remember what that was? And remember what it was about?
It was ridiculous. Everybody walked out and walked back in.
Yeah, so it was insulated flannels. The new dress code, everybody had to button up their insulated flannel shirts, all of our ag kids, all the farm kids. And we had a protest. I don't know if half the kids knew what the protest was for, but they wanted to get out of school. So first thing I said, what have I gotten myself into here? This is what goes on in Minooka High School every year when there's student walkouts. So I coached the first year. We were 3-6 on the freshman. I was a freshman football coach. So we get to the end of the year, and it's never good when a principal calls you in the month of March, you know, after school on a Friday afternoon about 3:30. So don't go to those meetings. Any of the teachers will be out there. It's probably not going to be good. So I'm thinking, well, maybe a pay raise, maybe something going on there. So goes, sorry, Bob, we got pink slip you this year. So they pink slip all the first year teachers after that first year. So I'm thinking, again, why they come to Minooka High School? I'm not going to have a job here going forward or whatever. But I got hired back in a couple of weeks, and I stuck around for about 30 years after that. So it was an interesting first year on those things. So on that front. So, but again, even starting out that first year, I knew it was a great place. I mean, great coaches, all the coaches that are around here that work with, made the job easy around here, but again, it was a family. So I love coming back to that family feeling that we had all those times. Again, high school years and the growth during high school years are unbelievable. And our coaching staff, obviously out here, I don't want to miss anybody along the way. Obviously, what a great group of individuals, and many of, you got a few Hall of Famers sitting in these seats out here in a few years when they get done coaching, but I've stuck to it. You know, I hate to miss anybody along the line here. Obviously, Petro and Gummerson's back there, and Coach Matt Harding and Brownie's back there. And who else am I missing? Honorary Coach Grosskloff is always an honorary coach during the year. Who am I missing out there that I work with here? I don't know. I can't see anymore either, so that's a bad thing. But obviously, when working with those guys, when I started out coaching, teaching, all those kind of things, it was awesome and made it very easy. When I worked in the athletic office, again, things were made very easy for me. Coaches took care of business, so my big thing is you hire the best people and let them do their job. So that was fun during that time. If you ever called our office, Jerry Brockett, she's going to be with us tonight. So if you ever called our office over the years, Jerry Brockett would answer the phone and deflect all the negative things. She was great at that, and helped me out. She organized things, so she was great on that front. So, again, the awesome things, and I'll keep going here, but the awesome parts of it, and being that relationship that we have with athletes, right, and kids, and we see that tremendous growth. So, again, Tim was finishing up. Dustin, I had the privilege of coaching when he was obviously a great player for us. Those Division I athletes, and when things got a little scary there during the coin toss of the game last night, I said, Dustin, you get in there and take care of this, because I'm not going to. But I don't know if anybody had more fun than Dustin Williams when he was playing football. Nina, obviously, you could tell we spent a lot of time in the gymnasium there, honing your skills in the game. So it was great to see it. Great to see that going on. And again, I was during my time there in Minooka, it was great to see all of that connection I had with everybody. So Ashley Jones, the most humble individual that I know. Where's Ashley sitting over there? So, an Olympian or all these kind of things, you would never know that. So I got to accompany her at the state finals one year. So again, the guy had never been to a swimming meet. I had to accompany her. I had to be the school representative to go with her to the state swim meet, and she was our swim team. I mean, we didn't have an organized team. So she goes, hey, so I said, what do I need to do here for you? I don't need water, you know, I don't. She was like, I got this, you know. That was great. So, good hospitality room. That was all I was good for. Obviously, Coach Ray. I didn't miss anybody long. Coach Ray, tremendous guy there, and we lived close at one time in Joliet, and you know, us being great technology guys, we had one tape that we had to share back and forth during most of those years. And I know there are ways to make copies of the VHS tapes or whatever. So Coach would look at the tape, you know, on Saturday night, he'd bring it over on Sunday morning or whatever. We used to share the tape. So that was the guy, I'm the most untechnological guy in the world. So we used to do that back and forth. And Coach Ray was never afraid to say, hey, you make sure you watch some more film because you need to do that. So that was great. And I have tremendous respect for this guy over here, all the things he's overcome over the years. So, again, we talk about family. And my brother Jim's here tonight. My sister Jean's back there. My brother-in-law Jim. If I remember my kids' names, Therese, Ben, Sally, Stacy, and Max. So I'm proud of them and all they've accomplished. And Natalia and Sid are with them. So they're significant others, I guess we can call them. So that's a good thing. So. As we go through the things, and I look at Minooka High School and all the things that are going on, I always thought it was a gold mine around here. We have good kids, we have good families, we have all the things that are good things. And there's a lot of tough things out there, right? A lot of tough districts out there, a lot of tough things going on. And I still do. And when I see the construction going on, all the good things going on with Dr. Schiffbauer and Maddie Williams, again, a Minooka kid, a kid that's come back and in charge of the program now, I think things are going out, continue to go up. So I can't wait to see what happens here in the future. Always a supporter of what's going on as far as all those things go. And thank you to the committee. I know all the hard work that goes in all this committee stuff and all the stuff behind the scenes. What a nice event, and we appreciate you doing this for us. So again, the big thing for me is the family thing and the support of my family. So in 40 years, I've never mentioned my wife ever in any of my talks. So all these things that we do, right? So my wife, Chris, obviously the best purchase we ever made. The best purchase we ever made. So we bought a conversion van in 2000, old conversion van. So we get all our kids in there, all our own kids in there, all their bags, everything. And my wife spent about, I think, the next 15 years in that conversion van. So, because I was probably at school doing something or whatever a lot of the time. So, she's the best, absolute best in that front. So I got to all my points. I like to get to the points. My dad was great, great man. And one thing he said, you know, keep your mouth shut and work hard. So that's what I try to do, and then we go from there. So I got all my points done here. So congratulations to everybody here. Again, I'm not worthy of this, but these folks are for sure. Petro's a great man there. Everybody on the committee, thanks for all the stuff you do for us, for this. And I can't wait to see what's in store for Minooka High School as we move forward. So I'm sure I've missed some coaches out there I've been with that are sitting here. Coach Lundeen, I see back there, we interviewed him. We got a good story about that one too. This guy from Eastern, so we had him come back like a few times, in 24 hours. So, and he stuck around. He's still here, so that's a good thing. So there's again, we appreciate everything. It's a great place here at Minooka High School, and as always, go Indians.
Hello. Turn switch on. Hello, everyone. It's an honor to be here tonight. Tonight, as we celebrate the newest Hall of Fame class. For those who don't know me, my name is Cody, and I'm the youngest brother to Ashley. And I was fortunate enough to be a part of the inaugural Hall of Fame class with the 2010 state championship wrestling team. And when I got the call telling me about it, I remember having two thoughts. First, how awesome it was to be inducted in an honor, and second, how the heck did I get in before my sister? And when you see the list of her accomplishments, you would understand why I thought that. Ashley's swim career started in my aunt's pool where we spent countless summers. Summer days swimming all day long, and eventually our parents signed her up for the local swim team. Now, from personal experience, and my brother can confirm this, but spectating swim meets at a young age can get very boring. Fortunately, Ashley perfected her craft quickly in those small regional meets, quickly became competing for national championships around the country, which turned into family vacations for me and Sam. And for that, we thank you. We also would like to thank you for being a role model you were. From a young age, Ashley competed at a high level. And we got to see firsthand what it takes to be successful. While most kids were sleeping as long as they could before school, Ashley was gone by 4 a.m. for swim practice. We got a first-hand look at how hard work truly pays off, and we thank you. Now, it's hard to find all of Ashley's wins and records throughout the years, but here are some of those accomplishments. 13-time YMCA National Championship with national records in the 200 IM and 400 IM, 8 Illinois state records, 2-time Olympic trial qualifier, including 1 time while she was still here at Minooka High School, 7 top 10 finishes at the IHSA state meet, including a title in 200 IM, 4 Big Ten team championships at Indiana University, as well as placing individually many times. She was an NCAA All-American with a 7th place finish her senior year, and competed for Team USA at the 2011 World University Games in Japan. Now today she's still winning state championships. She might not want you to know that, as she's competing in the Master Division, and she doesn't even let her family know where those are these days. But she's still doing it. And it's my honor to introduce my sister, Ashley Jones-Blue, in the Minooka Athletic Hall of Fame.
Hello, everyone. Thanks first to the Hall of Fame Committee and my brother for nominating me. Congratulations to my fellow inductees. Out of the water, I am as unathletic as possible. So I am in awe of all of you because I can't do anything out of the water. I would like to thank my family for their constant support. It's hard to truly appreciate how much your parents do for you until you're an adult. And I never would have been as successful without them. In my 15-year swimming career, my mom and dad only missed the swim meets that required them to leave the country. I'm also sure, which Cody just confirmed, that my brothers think swimming is the most boring sport in the world. But their continued support means the world. I would like to thank the school for the support they gave me when there wasn't an official swim team, and the school representatives who came with me to sectionals in the state over my 4 years, Rick Anderson, Bob Williams, Bob Tyrell, Rory O'Connell, and Chris Furco. And then last, I would like to thank all the students who believed me that I said I was swimming in the pond before school. I got a really good chuckle out of that. Thank you.
Truly humbled to be up here, and that was kind of awkward because as you introduced me, somebody earlier said, oh, you're at the Hall of Fame. Like, they don't induct people that average 6 points per game, but they let them introduce the studs. So they called me. Like everybody else said, truly humbled to be up here. So many former teachers, coaches, people that I admire as somebody that is coaching at Minooka and wants to coach at Minooka for a long time. It's really special to be in this position. Even more special because I get to spend a couple minutes talking about what I would call the gold standard of Minooka girls basketball, and that is Nina Simonis. The Simonis family means a lot to this community, but specifically means a lot to me. Larry has done a lot, and his most impressive thing is probably fixing my jump shot after sophomore year, would you say? Mac and Grant, two of my best friends and tremendous athletes in their own right. Grant, 4 years at Western Michigan. Mac, Michigan for a year. And behind every great sports family, as Petro said, is a sports mom that holds it all together, and that is certainly Lisa. But everybody knows that the alpha is Nina. And, you know, I never even watched Nina play, but if you spend 1 or 100 hours in Larry's office, you know, you hear enough stories to understand, just how good she was. And it was evident early on. She got third in state. Her team got third in state in 7th grade, 4th in state, in 8th grade. And when I asked Larry what stood out about her as an athlete, he said, her dedication. That after those junior high practices, it was come home, grab the ball, grab dad, and let's go play with the boys. Playing older competition, late at night, let the janitor know we're here. The door was always open, and there was always a SMOTUS in the gym. And that was the case for a very long time. Casey Thompson, Derek Gunyer, Jason Bogart were part of that group that molded her in those empty gyms late at night. She was a unicorn in basketball, I would say probably ahead of her time, because when you're 6 foot, you're supposed to be on the block, right? But she was a 6-footer that could handle the ball, 6-footer that could shoot threes. And the numbers really speak for themselves. She graduated as the school's all-time leading scorer for her career, a season and a game. 3 of the top 5 scoring games are held by Nina Simotis. All conference all 4 years, all state special mention twice. She's the only Minooka girls basketball to play 4 years of Division I basketball. Matt mentioned earlier that you set examples for the future. Her records are being broken now, but it's been 20 years, and they're being broken by a 6-foot unicorn that likes to shoot threes that we're going to be talking about here in a few years, I imagine. It wasn't just basketball. She was a key member of the 1999 volleyball team that reached the Elite Eight. And don't forget, started 5 games as a freshman on the varsity softball team. So yes, she was also the best baseball player in the family. But a legacy doesn't stand on numbers. And when I think of the legacy that Nina leaves at Minooka, she's an example. When a former coach was asked what a favorite moment of Nina's, it wasn't basketball related. It was that she danced with every reach student at the student dance so they felt included. That's an example. She was an example to her brothers, following her dad's lead and showing them what it takes to be college athletes, that they both followed as well. She's an example to high school and junior high girls and youth in the area. And as a coach that spent a lot of time in the youth in this area, you are searching for people that you can say, this can be you. And for a very long time, and up to this point, the only one to reach that level that you can say, hey, it can be done. And a name that I've repeated countless times to say, she did it. You can do it. It's possible to reach the highest level of college basketball. It's possible to reach that level while playing volleyball. It's possible to reach that level at Minooka. And those are all things that are very important to me as well. She's an example to her daughters, Layla and Ella, that hard work and dedication in school and sports builds the foundation of being a dedicated mom and a dedicated business owner. And she's an example to all of us of what a Hall of Fame career and person looks like. So it's my honor to introduce Nina Simotis.
So, I'm going to try not to be a girl up here, but I can't make any promises. First off, thank you to the committee. It's actually wonderful. I left for Louisville, Kentucky in 2001 and never came back. And not that I didn't want to, just life takes you in turns, down a different path in life, and maybe that was God's way of what they had planned, I don't know. But coming back, I come back often, but coming back to the football game last night, that was the first time I've been back at a high school football game since I left, for whatever reason, and brought my daughters, had family there, friends came, and I remember standing there in the end zone thinking, oh my goodness, I feel like this was yesterday. I feel like I was there with my senior girls. I mean, there's a picture my mom put on I texted it to my girlfriends, and we still get together once a year, ironically. And I said, do you remember this? Do you remember when we painted our stomach and the Indians and we were at the senior football game? And I remember it was like yesterday, and I remember standing there in the end zone thinking, what a great community. And not only the atmosphere of the football game, but for me to come back after being away for 25 years and to see so many familiar faces. You know, I've got Mr. Petrovic was my teacher. You know, I don't think he gave me attention, but I remember, you know, there's so many familiar faces, and I think that's a testament to the community and a testament to Minooka High School, and why they're successful, and why we've stayed on top for so long. And it just brings me back, and it was, last night was just so enjoyable for me. When I got this call about the Hall of Fame, you know, you go through life and you leave and you're working and you have kids, you're married, all the things, and you kind of forget about what your childhood was in a way. It's life, and you fast track and you're busy. And so I'm in the middle of work and people in my office coming and going, and, you know, all the things, and I get this call, and I usually don't answer. I didn't know the number. But it said, you know, local number. Okay, answer it. Nina, hey, it's Maddie Williams. Hey, Maddie, what's going on, you know? He's like, well, you know, I don't know, how are you? And, you know, and good. And he's like, well, hey, I don't know if you heard, but I'm the athletic director of Banquet High School. I'm sorry, what? I know I've been away, but, you know, Maddie to me was, you know, we were kicking him out of our parties senior year when he was a freshman, 8th grader. Maddie, what are you doing? Get out of here. No, you can't come hang out with us. And so I'm like, wow, am I that old that Maddie Williams is now running, as he should be. I call him a kid. He's a great man and comes from a great family. But I just remember sitting there thinking, I can't believe I'm this old that I'm getting called from Maddie Williams telling me I'm inducted in the Hall of Fame. So that was a very surreal moment. And I said, you know, he told me congrats. I said, well, congrats on you being athletic director. You know, good luck. It's impressive. And so, you know, I've had, you know, with my career, I've met so many incredible people. Trainers, coaches, media personnel. I mean, when you go through college and it really exposes you to a lot of things, and when you move away from your hometown to a bigger environment, bigger city atmosphere, it opens your eyes to a lot of things. But it never made me forget where I came from and what I loved, and the community that gave me the foundation to excel to where I'm at today. With my business and life and everything. But, you know, you realize a couple things. With everything I've been exposed to, Coach Ray, Coach Lib, I've been around some pretty impressive people, but you have always been dear to my heart. And we put you through a lot. My team, we challenged you. I mean, we were a bunch of rowdy girls, I can tell you that. And you just went through with such poise and grace. And, you know, I don't talk about this ever. My family knows this, but, you know, I was diagnosed with breast cancer 2-3 years ago, and in Houston, treatment, surgeries, all the things. And I come back, and I had some amazing support around me, and my community, and my family, everything. And I come back, and I'll never forget one of the cards I was sent by you and Miss Libertorian, and it was the most beautifully written card I've ever received. And so I'm not really on social media a lot, so fast forward. I get a call from Nikki Larson. And Nikki Larson, one of my teammates, said, you know, Nina, I know you're not on social media, but I don't know if you've heard, you're living in Louisville, you know, Ray's sick. This is about probably 6-8 months ago. And she said, you know, we're gonna get some cards together for him, all the teams. And go get a card. And I sat on that card for months. I couldn't send it. I couldn't send it your birthday. And I think it's like I just couldn't believe that you had sent me this beautiful card a year or two earlier, and now I have to write you that same card. I didn't have the words. I didn't have the words because you meant that much to me at that time. So it took me a while to send you that card with those words to get my thoughts together. But you know, now, being at my age and having 2 beautiful girls at my age, I realize the sacrifice that you gave, not only to Minooka High School, but to your family. The time that you spent away from your family, coaching us, all the sports, all the things, and having us over for those spaghetti dinners, and arranging those games for us to go to, you know, when I was in high school, go to those colleges to see that. And I know you did that for me. I know you did that because you knew I was going to be playing somewhere, and you wanted me to see what I could potentially be playing, the court I could be playing on. And I know you did that for me. And I just find that remarkable because I think in life, I think it's, you know, it's great what you do on the court. Yeah, my records, they can last for a long time, they can. But to me, it's the impression you made off the court, and that's what I remember. We don't have any banners as, you know, state champions or anything in the rafters, but you made more of an impression than anybody I've ever met in my career as an athlete. And to Mrs. Liberatoria, I mean, thank you for giving us your husband and the father of your beautiful family, because you sacrificed a lot to give me a chance to get to know him and have the impact in my life that he did. So I'm forever grateful to you and your family and everybody, and beautiful children too. And then, you know, to my family, gosh, you know, we're pretty close in family. We always have been. And I think for my mom, she doesn't ever get that much credit. But she, now that I'm a mom, you know, she molded me to be the mom that I need to be. She was there pushing the books, pushing education, calming my father down when, you know, he would go off on his tangents. We all know he needed that at times when he's especially back in the day. She really was the secret weapon of our family. And when things would go off track, you know, she was the one that would be very quiet but would creep back in and just kind of bring things back together. And always home cooking for us, making sure we were fed before Dad dragged us back out to the field or the gym at night. And thank you, Mom. You know, you've been a rock to our family. And you know, my dad. So my dad and I talk every day, actually. I may call him 5 minutes on the way to work, or he may call me. Can't tell you what we talk about, I don't know. But every day, that's just kind of our relationship. And, you know, as an athlete, you know, athletes are funny. You can have a lot of talent, but it's you have to have drive. You have to work for it. It's not just given to you. And I can't think of anyone else that's got more drive and more heart and more work ethic than my father. I mean, he would get up and I wouldn't see him in the morning. He'd be out to the office, you know, he'd be out to the shop, and on days when we were younger, when he was building the company, and he would bring us, and I'd be detailing cars with him at 8 years old in the back because he had to go to work on Sunday, and so I was going with. And so I think that kind of gave me the base of being a tomboy too, which I love. But you know, talk about having someone who was such a great example, selfless. You know, he wasn't out golfing every day. He wasn't out partying and watching football with his boys. He wasn't. he just would grind it out, go to work, come home, eat, sleep sitting up for 15 minutes. We'd joke on him. He'd fall asleep on the couch for 15 minutes, and then we'd get back up and go to Morrison and play basketball at open gym at malls. And he was nonstop, and he lived for us. He lived for us, and I think, you know, as good as athletes as you know, maybe I was, my brothers, he was the reason all three of us went D1. I mean, he definitely was. I can't sit up here and say that I would have made it to where I was, not only in college, but in life. If it wasn't for all those late night pushings in the gyms and the extra shots in the driveway and, you know, putting a hoop up in the back of his shop in the middle of winter so we could go there, the batting cages. I mean, he had more sports stuff in the back of his shop when we were growing up. Barely cars in there, but he lived for us. And I just think he's a remarkable man, and he continues to give back to the community. And that, to me, is probably the most important thing that I've learned from him, is that it's not what you do on the court, it's what you do off the court. And I love how I'm honored here, but I would like to be remembered for what I have done and achieved in the community and off the court, because I think that's more important than putting a basketball in a hoop, quite frankly. But there's not many like him, and when I, you know, hear, you know, when I come in town every once in a while, and I can't even go to Starbucks with my dad without a 8th grade baseball player from his team, seeing him and talking to our parent, and here we are 30 minutes later going play-by-play downstate. I'm like, how do you remember this stuff? I don't even understand it, but he just loves giving back, and he loves helping people, and he helps people through sports, and that's his way. But you really are the foundation of where I'm at today I still think I'm young, I guess, as a young woman. And I love you very much, and I love both you, Mom and Dad, for giving back to us and putting us always first. So, thank you.
Sarah, I should have looked at this before. Shara Dupree, would you please come up, and you're going to induct our next athlete, just going into the Minooka Hall of Fame, Tim Stevens.
I don't look like Shara, but I'll do it anyway.
Okay, you don't look like Shara. Come on up here. Let's see her. All right, presented by. Where the hell did that come from? Oh, I see. I missed. I went ahead. I lost a bet to Coach Coy. I was trying to win my drink back, but I'm sorry. So here we go. It's yours. Have it.
Mark Stevens is the presenter. By the way, when I first was asked to do this by my son, he said, you have 3 to 5 minutes. And then he thought about it, he goes, oh God, I don't want you talking for 3 to 5 minutes. So he said 1. So here we go. First of all, his mother and I are very proud to be here tonight to watch him be inducted into the Minooka Hall of Fame. And we kind of had an inkling of that when he was like 1 year old, and we had playpens set up in the living room. Every time we walked through, he'd throw a ball at us, and we'd have to throw it back. And then we ended up doing that hour after hour. But eventually we had 3 siblings, so we finally moved to football in the living room where I was on my knees, and I had 4 kids, you know, wrestling around on doing that. Then we moved to the side yard, then we put up a basketball hoop, and it just kept going on and on. But what really happened is when he got to junior high and high school, he really wanted to be the best he could be. And you've seen the stories where he might have had a little bit of a slump playing baseball. And so he'd say, Dad, let's go, you need to pitch to me. So we'd go over to high school, and I'd pitch to him until I could no longer dodge the line drives coming back at me. and I'd get hit in the shoulder, I'd get hit in the chest, and finally they said, I think you got it, you're good, we gotta go do something else. So anyway, we did that, and then we also, he wanted to be the best at basketball, so we had the hoops in the driveway, and hours and hours and hours of around the world and shooting threes and all that kind of stuff. And he played football, so we wore out the high school football field, throwing passes back and forth and involving his siblings and all that. But the one thing that, one night we were in the kitchen and we were having dinner, and all of a sudden we hear all this noise in the garage. Like, what in the hell is he doing in the garage now? Bang, 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 and all this kind of stuff. We go out there and he's building wooden boxes. What are you doing? He said, I want to be able to jump higher. So he's building himself a homemade wooden boxes to work on his vertical jump. And he was the point guard, and he wanted to be able to dunk a basketball. And he could. And it was because of the hard work that he put in that he was able to do that stuff. So, my 1 minute is up. So, with no further ado, his mother and I would like to introduce him, Tim Stevens. Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, so being the oldest athlete inductee, I need.
Hey, they didn't help me, I called the wrong guy up, so.
Yeah, and first of all, I don't know who that is. I ate that guy. But I really appreciate the Hall of Fame committee for the nomination and this is a first class event. Thank you to everybody who put time and effort into this, bringing us all together. I don't know. I have a little bit of something I want to say about each person, but I just want to make sure you guys are aware that Matty, as Nina called him, is great. Because when he called me in May, that's why we're all standing here on October 4th. Because both of two of my oldest sons play college football, and they both have bye weeks, so thank you. I said, I'll come if it's on the bye week. Thanks, Matty. So, just want to make sure I thank everybody at the staff here for ACES for hosting this as well. This is a great venue for us to have this event. Coach Liberatore is probably one of the most impactful people I ever met. He was my very first coach. He's right, we got slaughtered. Thank you, Coach, for bringing that up. But, we got through it. We improved. And, I think that's what it's all about. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. And so, looking at the program, we all did great things, right? That's why we're here, right? So, but I think it's the people along the way that help us get to those achievements, those accomplishments. But I'm going to bring up Larry. I love Larry, okay? You literally have to cut him off, though, when it's time to go. But I love Larry. But I only lived in Minooka for 6 years. Moved here in 8th grade, went to high school, lived here for 1 year after that. I've lived in South Carolina for 24 years. But those were the 6 most impactful years. The people I met, people I played with and for. But Larry was my 8th grade baseball coach at Minooka Junior High, and I was terrible. And he came to me one day when the season was over, he's like, don't quit, just keep playing, keep working hard. Went to the high school, played freshman baseball with Coach Liberatore, and I think that really kind of catapulted hey, play everything you can, because you only get to do this once. Play 3 sports, play all 12 seasons, do the best you can. So I think Coach Liberatore, and I'm going to get back to him at the end, but the very first game we did get slaughtered, he was the guy that came, put his arm around me and walked me to the bus. So thank you for that. That stuck with me forever. So I want to thank my parents. Thank you for the introduction, Father. You stuck to the minute. Thank you very much. They are obviously a great support system. They have been my whole life. Everything we do. I have 4 children, 2 play college sports, a third will. And I think that having that good foundation, that support system is really the key to everything. Having the right people behind you and helping you can really take you places in the world, as Nina can attest. Dustin, what a great player, right? Don't want to meet him in a back alley, but great guy, great player. I didn't know Ashley, but I challenge you to a buoyancy contest. I got this. I'm telling you, Dustin doesn't know this, but my second son was on a recruiting trip to Troy, and the head coach at Troy University was John Summerall. John Summerall was Dustin's roommate in college. So I'm sitting in John's office going, hey, I know a guy you know. and then we spent 8 hours talking. It was crazy. But that's how small the world is. You know, everybody's kind of got that connection. And Manuka for me was that I only, like I said, I only spent 6 years here, but they were a wonderful 6 years. I got to tell you, you know, I'm not going to be as touchy-feely. No offense to anybody about that, but I'm really more about what we did then, right? You know, why are we here? What do we accomplish in that time? Now, I played 3 sports. I'm going to go in reverse order for a reason. We'll get to it at the end, but I want to talk about baseball just real quick. I had great coaches. My favorite story, Rick Beeler is my coach, sophomore and junior year. If anybody knows Rick Beeler, please tell him what I'm about to say. So I had a cannon. I played quarterback, I could throw the ball, I literally threw mid-90s. So that's all I had. So I was pitching against kids growing up. They couldn't catch up to my fastball, so I just struck people out. And finally I got to junior high school and they could catch up. So we went to Batavia. My parents have heard this story, but you guys will love this. This is Rick in a nutshell. We're in like the second inning, I don't know what it was, but I throw 90. Guy hits it, I don't think it's landed yet. Second one, next guy comes up, another one. Third one, another one. 3 in a row. He calls time, comes out to the mound, he goes, "You ever heard of a changeup?" He smiled at me, he didn't yell, just smiled. He took the ball, and he goes, "Go to center field, that's the last time I ever pitched." So thank you, Rick, for ending my pitching career. But when I got to senior year, Rick had retired, and I had Dan Goggins, who was also an alumni of Manuka High School. He was a really great quarterback, good baseball player himself. Probably should be in this hall as well. But he was my senior year coach, and the story is out there is I did go 0 for 20 to start my season. I was terrible, couldn't hit anything. Don't know why, because I had hit my whole life. I had great batting average every other year. So I meet Coach Goggins at a bar in Shannon, 18. It was noon, we weren't drinking. We were having lunch with his dad. And he just looked at me and he goes, "You've done so well for so long, why, what's going on in your head?" I said, "I have no idea." He goes, "All you gotta do is stop thinking about baseball." So I did. And I batted almost 700 the rest of the season. So thank you, Coach Goggins, for telling me to think about nothing. So, you know, I had some good times in baseball. I love playing baseball. It's my favorite sport to watch now. I'll watch the World Series over the Super Bowl. That's just how I roll. I don't know why. It's my favorite sport. When you get out there in the grass and you see those guys run out in their uniforms, and I'm a big Cardinal fan. Sorry about you Scrubs fans, but Cardinal fan. Busch Stadium to me is mecca. I go once a year.
How'd you guys do today?
We were polishing our rings. Anyway, so moving on to basketball. So I'm going in reverse for a reason. We get to Coach Liv in a minute. But basketball is where I was probably the best at. I did build those boxes. I also put blocks on the bottom of my shoes, ran to stadiums all the time. And I was just an athletic kid with good work ethic. And, you know, I wasn't the best, though. And when I was playing in a tournament my freshman year, Coach Liv was my coach. We played Joliet Township in Gary Bell. And we both scored 40. And I said, "Why are we playing on the freshman team in the back gym?" And then Coach Liv goes, "Because that's all you can do." So I went into the gym, started working out, started doing the box jumps, started lifting the weights, doing all the things that you don't do for most people who play basketball. So people don't think about all the work that goes into it. 95% of what you do is when nobody's watching. And if you aren't ready when the 5% comes, you're going to get exposed. And that's what I was. I could score with anybody, couldn't guard anybody, never got a rebound. It's just the way it was. So I think what I learned in baseball was perseverance, but in basketball was teamwork. when I got to senior year, I think I have the points record for boys. Nina was way better than me. And by the way, I would pay-per-view watch you two go at it. So, but senior year I got to, play. I scored, I don't know, whatever the record is now. And reality is I could have scored 1,000 more than that. But I didn't have to. I had great teammates, guys I could rely on. I'm most proud of all the records that I may or may not keep is the assists. Because I could drive and know that I could throw it to my buddy and he would make it. Or I know I could drive to the hole and dish it off to another guy to make a basket. I mean, I'm most proud of the assists over anything else. So that's my basketball story. I love teamwork. I think that lasts throughout life, just like perseverance. And now we get to football. So as a quarterback, look at me, I'm a beacon. Yeah, so all I could do was throw. But the intangibles are what I brought. Okay, it was the leadership, which is the third thing: perseverance, teamwork, leadership. Those are the things that I took away from Minooka High School. Okay, when I was the quarterback, I thought I was going to play college basketball. I probably could have. Mistakes were made. We won't get into that. But senior year, my father made a deal with all my linemen. 2 of them are here tonight, and they're the best. I haven't felt anybody's butt more than Paul Huffman's in 4 years. He was my center, so I had a nice round one. It was nice. But every time I didn't get sacked, my parents would get them steak dinner. So if they kept me upright for basketball season that was coming, they were happy. And we won a lot of games. But this is where I want to get to Coach Liv. So we lost our last playoff game, and I didn't want it to end. I was very sad when we lost. Obviously, I was disappointed. We had a couple guys get hurt, so we were down some men. We were on the road. It wasn't going well, and we lost. Cried like a baby. Didn't want it to end. Coach Liv comes over to me, puts his arm around me, walks me to the bus, sat with me while I bawled. So thank you, Coach Liv, for being there from the first game to the last game. Give it up for Coach Liv. All right, this is what I'm at with. I told you all those things to tell you this. I hate Morris. If you grew up here in the 80s and 90s, you understand that they whipped our tail in everything all the time. So when I got to be a senior, I said, I ain't losing anything to these dudes. Nothing, And so baseball, I'm going to go backwards. Baseball, we won the conference. I had the game-winning hit, 2 RBIs to win in the bottom of the 7th, to beat them, to win the conference. They won state. Basketball, played them twice, murdered them. They had 0 chance, they just didn't know it. Football, there's 8,000 people there. I mean, we only had the one side of stands at that time. And there was grass, and people were standing on their trucks that were parked on the fence. It was a grass field, look at H-style goalpost. I'm dating myself a little bit. But I had gotten hurt the week before, tore my rotator cuff. Couldn't throw a ball, didn't tell a soul. I warmed up with a Nerf ball the whole week because I didn't want to put any pressure on my shoulder. We go into the Morris game, ball control thing for 3.5 quarters. I'm getting to this point because I brought...
Don't back up!
Don't back up.
There goes that weight, there goes that rotator cuff.
Yeah. So it starts to rain, it's the 4th quarter, we're up 12-7. My middle linebacker slides, makes a great catch for an interception, and we win the game 12-7. So we bought a brick that says, "We are forever better."
Good evening. I'm Shara, Dustin's older sister. Our family is truly honored to be here tonight to celebrate Dustin's induction into the 2025 Minooka High School Hall of Fame, along with all the other athletes, coaches, and the softball team. Dustin attended MCHS from 1997 to 2001, where he was a dedicated member of the football and track teams for all 4 years and played a couple of years of baseball. His football journey began in first grade with the Chinook Braves and continued through 8th grade. In 1993, his youth football team won the league Super Bowl. That was a really big deal back then. Although Dustin admits early on he considered quitting because of the heat, the heavy gear, and the long distance perimeter running, he stuck with it. And in doing so, he learned some of the most important lessons of sports. Sometimes you have to dig deep, push through, and find that inner grit. And that perseverance became a defining trait for his entire football career. At Minooka, Dustin played on the sophomore team as a freshman and then moved up to the varsity team for the next 3 years. He played multiple positions: tight end, running back, kicker, punter, yes, kicker, punter, special teams, and of course, middle linebacker. He had over 300 tackles at Minooka, including countless tackles for loss, sacks, fumbles caused, pass breakups, and quarterback hurries. The coach at the high school that inspired him the most was Coach Mike Briscoe. His most memorable high school game was his senior year against Plainfield, when the team needed to win to make the playoffs. I'm not sure that they won the game, but probably why it's the most memorable. Dustin went on to earn first team all-conference, all-area, and all-state honors both his junior and senior years. Recruiting in the 90s looked a little bit different than it does today. There was no social media, there was no huddle clips, travel teams weren't in the spotlight. Instead, Dustin attended some Nike exposure camps, worked with the local sports media contact, Chris Poole, and sent out a highlight VHS tape made by Coach Bontrager at the high school to colleges all over the country. He was recruited by several Division I programs and took official visits to Illinois, Iowa, Ohio State, Georgia Tech, and Kentucky, amongst many others. At 6'4" and 250 pounds entering college, coaches recruited him for multiple positions, but Dustin knew in his heart he wanted to stay at linebacker. Ultimately, he chose the University of Kentucky, drawn to both the challenge of playing in the SEC and the coaching staff who supported his desire to remain in his position. Our dad has always said, if you want to be the best, you have to play the best. Many of us are parents in the room and send kids off to college, and it's hard to send your kid off to college. We want them to be safe, successful, and surrounded by support. For my parents, that reassurance came from Coach John Goodner, Kentucky's defensive coordinator and linebackers coach. They dropped Dustin off, when they dropped Dustin off, Coach Goodner gave him his cell phone and said, call anytime. So, like any good parent would do, a few days into summer practice, my dad called in and asked Coach Goodner, well, how's he doing? Is he gonna make it? Coach Goodner just laughed. And he said, you don't need to worry about this kid. Today he was running with the first team defense and was lined up against our senior All-American tight end, Derek Johnson. And Dustin tugged on his jersey a little bit and Johnson didn't catch the ball. And he turned around and grabbed Dustin by the helmet and he said, hey, freshman, don't ever hold me again. Dustin immediately took him to the ground and started whooping his you-know-what. And let everyone on the team know exactly where he stood. That determination carried Dustin through his career at Kentucky. He traveled the country, playing in some of the best college stadiums on the biggest stage, including national TV. His sophomore year, he led the SEC in tackles per game with an average of 11.1 stops with over 100 tackles on the season. His most memorable game was the epic 7 overtime battle against Arkansas, while his favorite place to play was the Swamp in Florida. More than the games, Dustin built lasting friendships, learned invaluable lessons, and grew into the man we're so proud of today. Sports teach us so much more than how to win. They teach discipline, leadership, resilience, confidence, communication, and emotional strength, the very traits that prepare us for life's challenges. Dustin, we've always admired your leadership and success on the field. But what we admire the most is the way you love and lead your family. That, above all, is your greatest victory. We're so proud of you, and congratulations on your induction into the 2025 Minooka High School Hall of Fame.
Ladies and gentlemen, guests, coaches, teammates, family, and friends, I'm truly honored and humbled to stand before you today as the new inductee into Manuka High School Hall of Fame for football. The recognition means more to me than words can express. I'm grateful for the opportunity to reflect on this incredible journey that has brought me to this moment. First and foremost, I want to thank my family for their unwavering support and encouragement through my football career. Their sacrifice and belief in me has been my driving force behind my success, and I'm forever grateful for the love and guidance. First, my dad, Mike Williams. Thank you for giving me the love, passion, knowledge, and toughness for the game of football. You've been my coach since day one and my biggest fan right alongside my mother. You've been, let me tell you about this man. He would work all week driving a truck and then go watch my brother play here at Manuka on Friday nights. After the game, he would drive all night to wherever we were playing across the country the next day. You know what? He never missed a game. Dad, you've given me everything. In the last couple months, you've shown me the greatest lesson of all, what it truly means to fight. Watching you battle through your liver transplant with some of the same toughness and heart you taught me on the field. That has inspired me more than anything else. This honor tonight isn't just mine, it's yours. Our family will live on here at Manuka forever, and every time people see it, they'll know it's because of the sacrifice and the strength of a man like you. Dad, I love you, and I'm proud to be your son. To my mom, Patty Williams, where do I start? How about with this? How about I love you and thank you? You've been by my side through my highest highs and my lowest lows. And you've never turned your back on me once. I owe her everything. Mom, you were the one who taught me what it means to fight through adversity, to stand tall when life tries to knock you down. You showed me that success isn't about trophies or titles. It's about character and perseverance and heart. I can still see you sitting in the stands after multiple neck and back surgeries cheering me on, knowing that you're in a ton of pain. Those moments shape me more than you'll ever know. You've always been my safe place, my biggest fan, and sometimes my toughest critic, but always because you believed in who I could become. I wouldn't have had the courage to chase my dreams without your love or strength or guidance. Tonight, as I accept this honor, I hope you feel it too, because this isn't just my achievement, it's yours. You and Dad are the reason I'm standing in front of you right now, and I love you both very much. To my sister and my brother, Matt and Shara, thank you for your unwavering support and belief in me. Without you two, I wouldn't have been the middle child, and maybe I wouldn't have been as tough as mean as I was. You both kept me grounded when success came and lifted me up when challenges hit. Growing up together, we competed, argued, laughed, and we pushed each other in ways that only siblings can. Looking back, I realized those moments made me stronger, more resilient, and more prepared for everything in life when football threw me away. This honor tonight isn't just mine, it's shared with you. Because behind every accomplishment, there were siblings who believed in me and reminded me who I was. I love you both very much, and thank you for always having my back. I'd also like to express my deepest gratitude to my coaches. You not only taught me the skills of the game, but also instilled in me in values of hard work, dedication, and perseverance. Your mentorship has been invaluable, and I'm proud to have been part of your teams. Coach Briscoe, I've looked up to you since the first time I met you. Thank you for taking me under your wing my freshman year and showing me what it meant to work hard and truly earn something. Your passion and toughness for the game of football shaped me from day one. Thank you, Coach, for your guidance and friendship. It has a special place with me. To my teammates, thank you for your camaraderie, friendship, shared passion for the game. The memories we created on the field will always hold a special place in my heart. I'm grateful for the bonds we built both on and off the field. And now my family, my 4 daughters, Jenna, Kate, Megan, and Natalie, my son-in-laws, James and Dominic, and of course my beautiful wife, Tricia. Thank you for finally giving me a true purpose in life. For a long time, I thought maybe I lost my way. But once I met my wife, I realized there was a bigger plan for me. I'm so proud of each and every one of you. Tricia, thank you for seeing something in me I didn't even know I had. From the very beginning, you believed in me even when I doubted myself. Thank you for being my #1 fan. There are only two types of people in this world. There's the boat anchors who drag you down, and there's people who elevate you, and you're a true game elevator. You're one of the smartest, most compassionate, most resilient people I've ever met. I'm in awe of you every single day. You've shown me what real strength, patience, and love looks like. You've taught me how to be a better man, a better father, a better person. You've always had my back no matter what. I will always love you and protect you and stand by you, just as you've done for me. I love each and every one of you unconditionally. Each of you holds a unique place in my heart. I'm grateful for the love and joy and laughter you bring into our home. From the day we became a family, your presence has enriched every moment. I can't imagine my life without you guys. Natalie. Keep dreaming big. Keep dreaming big. I know you think I'm hard on you, but that's only because I can see what you can't see yet, and that's greatness. Coaching in softball has been one of the greatest joys of my life. Watching you grow as a player, but even more as a young lady, is something I'll always treasure. Your work ethic, heart, and love for the game reminds me why I fell in love with sports all these years ago. But more than that, you remind me how lucky I am to be your stepdad. If there's one thing I hope you take from tonight, it's that hard work, dedication, and believing in yourself can take you farther than you ever dreamed. You are on your own path to greatness. Keep working hard and don't ever quit chasing your dreams of playing softball in college. I love you and I'll always be here for you. Maggie, I couldn't be more proud of the young lady you're becoming. Your priorities and your education are going to take you places you never believed you could go. You truly are one of the kindest souls I've ever met. Whatever you decide to do after high school, we'll be here to support you. This world is lucky to have such a sweet young lady like you, and I know you're going to make a big impact on whatever you decide to do. I love you, and I'll always be here for you. Jenna and Kate. I love you and thank you. From the first day, you welcomed me with open arms, and the kindness has meant the world to me. I know it hasn't been easy, but I'm pretty sure you see and believe how much I love your mother and your sisters. I want both of you to know my pride and love for you is endless. You are and will always be my girls. I honestly couldn't be more proud to call you my daughters. I love both of you very much and will always be here for you. To me, family's not defined by last names. They're not only defined by last names and blood. It's defined by love, commitment, and showing up every single day. I know usually stepdads have a reputation of being mean and unpleasant, but I've always tried to be the opposite. I've tried to be the most genuine, unselfish example of what a real stepdad should be. Believe me, I'm not perfect, and I've had a lot of learning to do on the fly. But from the start, I knew this. You girls, you're not have my blood, but you will always be my daughters. When I met your mom, I realized that God had a different plan for me. I knew I had found my best friend, soulmate, and love of my life. She had 4 girls, and that's where most men would have run. But I didn't see you girls as baggage, because all I thought about was her. And how can I build a relationship with her? And the best way to show you girls my value and worth was to treat your mom like the queen that she is. Being your stepdad has taught me 2 things, patience and persistence. I had to work on my patience because patience is not the ability to wait, but the ability to wait with a good attitude. And Lord knows how patient you girls have been with me. I heard someone say one time that 1 minute of patience is 10 years of peace. With love and patience, nothing is impossible. All of you have shown me persistence. There's been many people that have set goals and plans towards success, yet only a few of them succeed, because only a few stick to working on their goals and plans until they're accomplished. The majority of the people that let their fears and doubt paralyze them from moving persistently towards their goals. And this is why I know all of you girls are going to be successful in life. Girls, remember this. You should never have to chase true friends or true love. You shouldn't have to beg someone to care for you. You shouldn't have to beg someone to try to put you first. Don't let people treat you like an option when you're a priority. Yeah. Heart rate. You girls deserve the best, and don't let anybody tell you anything different. Your mom and I are extremely proud of all four of you. All four of you mean the absolute world to me, and I hope I make you proud. I love you, and more importantly, I love your mom. My two son-in-laws, James and Dominic, I'm super proud of both of you for the way you love and respect my daughters. You guys have fit into this family from day one, and I couldn't ask for better men to take care of my daughters. I love you guys. I'd also like to thank my in-laws, Joe and Sonny Mazzoni. Thank you for always treating me like a son. This family is so lucky to have both of you in your support. Thank you for raising such an amazing, hardworking, loving daughter. I love both of you. Lastly, I want to thank this incredible school for providing me with this platform to pursue my dreams and showcase my talents. The lessons I've learned here, both on and off the field, shaped me into the person I am today. I'm proud to represent the school in the Hall of Fame. As I accept this honor, I do so not only for myself, but all those who have supported me along the way. I'm a product of the love, dedication, and hard work of so many individuals, and I share this achievement with each and every one of you. Thank you for this incredible honor, and thank you for believing in me. I will always cherish this moment and the memories of my time on the football field.